Like in the United States, it would be crazy for the president to get assassinated and then get the next 20 people in line
in the same room. When you know that they have great surveillance on you,
they just took him out with a drone.
they already know the next 20 guys in succession. They already know where they are and what they're doing. And then you put them all together and like, oh, wow, this is the jackpot.
Seems to me like just a lack of understanding of surveillance.
We have ignition.
We're back.
All right. We're kind of continuing said conversation from our last kind of podcast.
Well, I don't know if we're going to put that one out because it got messed up.
Yeah,
Which got messed up.
So we're pretty much redoing it, which is fine.
Yeah.
It'll be a little more cleaner cut topics, a little more on point with this one. But we'll just start off with current events and everything going on in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, I think we wanted to get together and talk a little bit about all the craziness in Iran, everything happening in Venezuela and
in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
Just kind of the general hecticness of current events.
Yeah, the feel of the United States and then maybe what some of these countries are going through with dictatorship getting booted out and what that leads to the future.
Yeah, and for people that have watched past episodes, might know that Nick was a Marine and was deployed in the Middle East. So there's I think you got more context than most around what it's actually like over there, given that you even spend time around the Middle East. So
yeah. Well, I guess let's start off with the timeline. What was first? Venezuela, right? In January?
Yeah, I think Venezuela was first a few weeks ago.
So yeah, out of nowhere, the United States just formed a mission, and obviously it's been going on. Like they've been plotting this for a while. You don't just take somebody out like that with a week of planning. So they've been planning it for a long time, and they did it from what I've heard and what I've seen on social media. And, take social media with a grain of salt because unfortunately that's where like 99% of our age bracket gets their news networking from. It seems like it's not necessarily a bad thing. He was more of a dictator. The people seem more free per se. Obviously, I'm not boots on the ground there, so it's hard to tell. But from what I've seen on social media from the country's side of things and citizens of Venezuela, it seems like it's more of a positive than a negative.
Yeah, I think something I thought was interesting around that time, I was traveling a little bit and like just being in airports, there was so many, people in the military around the airport, like just going this way or the other. That was like the first time in my adult life that I saw like just that volume of troops moving around the country. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing in that time.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen that interview of that guy? They're going around the streets of New York or something. And they ask him what he likes to do or what his hobby is. And he's like, oh, it's kind of macabre. And for whatever reason, I remember that word that he said, but he liked to take vacations in places that just had a terrorist attack, in the sense that it wouldn't happen again and security is going to be like doubled.
Interesting. Where he was living in the streets of New York?
Yeah, they're just interviewing random people and he's like, oh, what are your like hobbies? It's like, well, I like to take vacations in places that just got attacked.
Jeez, that guy's definitely on the list.
Which
Throwing out in the streets of New York.
Until he said that, he didn't really think like, yeah, they up security. What are the chances of the same place getting hit twice unless, there's something else going on? It was an interesting point of view to see.
Yeah, that's like a crazy logical thing though.
Yeah.
To be like, I mean.
And like, plane tickets are going to be low. Hotel prices are going to be
Yeah, that part's
like,
true, yeah.
Just travel-wise, it does make sense. I don't know if I would do it personally, but
I could not, no. I always feel
But it doesn't make sense.
yeah. I always feel that kind of like eeriness or like the sense of I don't know. There's all when you go to a place that's had like an atrocity or like something bad happen there. I always kind of feel like uneasy.
Yeah, and I don't think you're gonna get the same feel or vibe of the place that you're going.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not going to be authentic. Yeah, depending on where you're going. If you're going, I would say that's pretty much true for every European country, Latin American country.
Yeah, yeah, that is wild. Well, it's like I know, in a lot of Latin America, it's like places that have had big drug eras are actually much safer in the fallout of them because of the same reason. Like the police or the government get control of it, and then it's more often like the drugs kind of move around to various countries. They build up these strongholds. The U.S. or the government there kind of gets in, breaks them up, and they'll have a couple decades of like better tourism and prosperity, and stuff kind of develops elsewhere. It's interesting. Like I know Colombia, obviously, like with Escobar back in the day, was terrible. You couldn't even visit, and then like more recently, it's been one of the best places to go, one of the safer countries in South America.
I mean, even over a shorter timeline, look at El Salvador.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years ago, you couldn't walk in the streets and do anything. Now it's like, I forget the president's name that just like flipped everything around. But
yeah, they've cleaned it up big time.
They cleaned the whole country out. It's unbelievable how they did it. And unfortunately, I think like innocent people are going to be locked up for whatever reason and this and that, while cleaning up the streets of MS-13 or whatever gangs are out there. But that's like one of the safest countries to go to now. It's unbelievable that what a couple of years can do under the right government system.
Yeah, it's hard to do because there, like you said, there's always going to be those people that kind of get lost in the transitional phase. But like you definitely see, when a ruler comes in.
Yeah, and it is a smaller
agenda.
country. Like it'd be 10 times harder for a country double their size to do what they did. Like Mexico per se. So many more states, so many more major cities, bigger cities. It'd be a lot harder to do in different countries than El Salvador. But
yeah. And it definitely comes in waves too. There's cycles of it.
Yeah.
But it seems like El Salvador right now, I mean, they have a pretty, they have a democratic and pretty clear mission.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully it doesn't get ruled over by dictatorship and power-hungry people in the future.
You never know.
But we can spring off that and talk about El Mencho here. And
El Mencho.
And everything happening in the state of Jalisco, in Guadalajara, and Puerto Vallarta. Just kind of a mess, to be honest.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's nothing new, but it's definitely atrocities left and right. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like. Well, I saw something like I think like 40 Mexican. I don't know what they were, like special police or whoever like was invading the compound, I believe died during the invasion to actually get to him.
Jeez.
And then after they got him, like all of his lieutenants and stuff just, are sending messages and burning buses and killing people in the streets.
I feel like it's similar to, what year is it? I think it was 1993. I believe it was Jalisco. The airport attack, by the cartel. They were trying to get a guy named Pacho who was flying out to Tijuana or Juarez or somewhere after he tried killing another kingpin in Tijuana, like this big thing. And then there happened to be a shootout at an airport, and then a cardinal died, and that was like major headlines. Like that was the downfall of a lot of Mexican cartel influence. And then, the government who was involved in the money laundering and everything with the cartel kind of had to take a step back and be like, all right, we actually have to do something about this.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
I feel like this event was similar to that and more of a wake up call of, all right, the cartel is real, they're relevant, and this is their capabilities.
Yeah. Yeah, it is always a reminder of like how institutional the whole cartel is. Like when it becomes destabilized, it's like such a big economy becomes up for grabs, and then people are like, there's so many people whose livelihoods depend on it and who basically operate without laws. And so it's like,
yeah, and money is a powerful object, unfortunately. A lot, most cartel members, at least from what I'm familiar with, are low-income families, don't really have a route or an option.
Mm-hmm.
And they either get pulled in or they see the money and they're just like, all right, this is the only route I got. I got to go this way. And then once you're in, you're in. There's no backing out at that point.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's like something that is, you have uncles or cousins or your dad or whatever.
Yeah,
involved,
family affiliation.
and it's like the economy in your country or in your city or whatever. It's pretty ingrained. But that's where, like, to the point in El Salvador, it takes someone coming in and like really going deep.
Yeah,
getting resources and support.
Yeah, you got to kind of cause a mess in order to clean everything up.
Yeah.
And then with what's going on there, the state of Jalisco, for whatever reason, Mexico's like usually upped on the travel warning for the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but they upped it one more time. And the way I see it is, all right, if you're going to like Mexico City, Monterrey, Punta Cana, or Cancun area, like there's no necessarily need to worry. It's like not going. I saw something. It was like the comparison of not going to Florida because there's riots in Minneapolis. Like when people think of Mexico, they encompass everything. And they don't realize how vast Mexico actually is.
Well, I think geographically it's true, but I think there is it is a fair response to some degree. Just like when you do enter that domain, right? Like you enter that country, you're then subject to their laws and their systems of power.
Yeah, I think
it's unstable. Like you never know who's going to try to flex power where, like, there is some inherent risk, especially when it's unstable.
Yes. When it's unstable, yes, more so. But if you're not doing anything that you're not supposed to be doing, that's just fine. Yeah. Just go about your day, do touristy things, eat local food, you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to up the risk more than it should be.
Yeah. That's very true. But I think getting back to, Venezuela, and then we want to talk about Iran.
We already talked about Mexico, so let's jump into Iran.
Yeah, well, I think that the big thing that I think that we kind of both agree on is just the obvious change in escalations. Like there's more, or there's less like inhibition to destabilizing these bad leaders.
Yeah.
Or like these basically like declared enemies of the United States. It seems like there's definitely a pattern of like more aggression and like flexing the military going on right now.
Which is, we did talk about this, which I find funny because the rules of engagement while you're out there are typically, at least they have been in the past, war changes things, have been, don't shoot unless you're being shot at.
Yeah.
You got to be responsive and not jump to conclusions, or have any premeditated clause. You see guys with like turrets on their pickup trucks, and unless they do something, don't do anything. But now, and 9/11 probably prompted this more than anything. It's like you can't necessarily allow that to happen again. So you have to be preemptive.
Yeah, I think I have
to be in front of it.
I'm curious on because you were in Afghanistan and Iraq, right?
Yeah.
You were never in Iran.
No. But at my time, you couldn't.
There was no reason.
You can't fly over Iran. Yeah. There's nothing.
Yeah, and historically, Iran has been just kind of a no-hit list for the U.S. I think because of the fear of, nuclear weapons, but also because of the ties to China and Russia.
Yep.
And kind of the can of worms that it could open.
Yeah, the backing they have. And I think this might be like a bluff call.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how we talked about with Russia, like Russia and Ukraine. I think their push into Ukraine might have been a bluff to see hey, is the United States actually going to back them as much as we think they are, and the UK and all these other countries?
Mm-hmm.
And they found out, there's a lot of backing there. Yeah. So going into Iran, I feel like it's the U.S. kind of saying hey, are you guys actually allies, or are you just talking
Yeah.
And now that we see it, it's kind of around for themselves.
Yeah.
And that might be because they don't want to start a full World War III. But
Well, you do wonder, like, what if Russia just started funneling missiles into Iran to shoot back?
yeah,
How would that escalate? Because that's kind of like I mean, that's kind of what happened in Ukraine, right? Like Russia invaded. Obviously, there was a whole different set of incentives there versus what we're doing in Iran. But I mean, like geopolitically, right? Like the response was Europe and the United States equipped Ukraine to defend themselves.
yeah.
Like what happens on the flip side of that, right? It's definitely delicate. But what I wanted to ask you is, what do you imagine it's like over there, like in these military bases? Because there obviously like there's missiles and drones going back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
did you ever experience any of that kind of stuff?
No, not to like any degree, but tension's just got to be high. You're on high alert
Yeah.
the whole time. You got watches out, but I mean, it's like a lot of these bases don't have, iron domes or anything that can track or shoot down drones in that quick of a manner. So
Yeah.
what can you do? I don't know. And Iran is kind of just pulling everybody down with them. They're not really getting any backing from what we know of. So they're just like, all right, we're going to hit all the Gulf states, Bahrain, Dubai, Iraq, Qatar, Kuwait. Like they said, all right, and they're probably true by saying it is like, we're not really going to make it out of this. We don't have the firepower to do this. So let's just take everybody down with us in the same process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think something you said last time we were trying to record was, you think part of it is like they're like, hey, this is now clearly our problem as Iran. We're gonna now try to make it everyone's problem to just get everybody.
Yeah.
Almost like get the whole
like our
coalition
country's getting taken down right now, like civilians and everything. They're just bombing whoever, what it seems like. So they're like, all right, well, we might as well just start launching missiles. They don't have any missiles that could reach as far as us that we know of, but yeah, they're pulling everybody else down with them. They're going to make it a lot of people's problems because they don't really have an out. Even if they wave the white flag, there's going to be no surrender.
Yeah. It's an interesting time. Like it's such a tense region. It's like a powder keg, right? Like once one thing lights, everything else gets a little more unstable, and like all these other decades old issues can easily kind of crop back up because guns are drawn.
Yeah. And we talked about Iran used to be the go-to travel destination in the Middle East.
Yeah, back in the
it used to be the place to go before the overthrow of regimes and then dictatorships and then war for centuries. I mean, it's crazy how much it can turn.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about this because we were looking a little bit at the history of Iran and of how they went from this pretty developed, like first world connected country within a region that was obviously very like traditional and Muslim, and how they kind of went through this transition where I think you said like the Shah died or was removed in the...
So from what I've read, is that like they were getting westernized.
Mm-hmm.
And the people didn't necessarily like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a problem with it. They protested. He got taken out of office, or I don't know to be exact. And then that's when like the dictatorship started. So I just don't think they agreed with westernization. And like you said, they're very historical, traditional people. That didn't want to be westernized. Which
I got the detail, an exact detail here. It was 1979. The Shah of Iran was deposed during the Islamic Revolution. So there was this kind of right wing, I don't know what you want to call it, this Islamic traditional revolution that removed the westernized Shah, and I guess they actually call it leftist. It's interesting. But anyways, this more traditional group that put in a more traditional government that I guess has kind of just been in place for quite some time now.
Yeah, until recently when he got taken out and the next preceding guys got taken out because they thought a summit all in the same place was a good idea.
Mm.
Yeah, so that kind of shows their organization, like the chain of command of the United States. You have the next 50 preceding people. If you say the president were to die and then Secretary of Defense and Vice President, whoever else, like there's a preceding line so that you don't have to get everybody in one room.
Yeah.
And then something like that happens.
You know what's crazy is the way history just repeats itself, because look at the world today, 2026. The U.S. just won the Olympic hockey.
Yeah.
There was tension with Russia. Russia was not participating this year.
Yeah.
And then there's now a full-out war going on in Iran. I was just watching the movie Miracle a couple weeks ago, and it's like, at that time, U.S. versus the CCP, the Soviet Union. U.S. takes on Soviet Union hockey at the same time. There's obviously the whole Cold War tension. And that was the same time when the Shah of Iran was deposed, and when the whole crisis at the U.S. embassy
that is crazy.
in Iran, like the Iran Contra scandal thing. It's funny. It's like the exact same pattern of relationships. Obviously different this time, but
yeah.
And that was 46 years ago, 47 years ago.
That is crazy. You put all those things side by side, it adds up.
It's like the simulation is real. It's coming.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny. Like it's these same systems of power just continuing to grind against each other.
Yeah, I mean it is impossible for the world to work in harmony. Which I don't know, we didn't touch on this last time, but that 2030 project, that I think it's the UN has going on, where it's like one centralized government for the world, and then you have your basic what do they call it?
The universal basic income.
Yep, universal basic income and everything like that. I think that's like what they're going towards, and they think that's like peace.
Well, there's such a
per se, but look what you have to do to get there. And then there's we won't get into the Project 2030. I got a lot of opinions on that, but
there's such a disconnect between a lot of the developed Western world and the rest of the globe.
Yeah,
like the Project 2030, because Nick had mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Basically, it was this United Nations agenda to make all resources almost like communal among the first world or among the Western world. Basically get to like this altruistic state where every country had full equality and desegregation and universal income and access to resources. And
sounds like a utopia.
It's literally like a utopian ideal. I think it was a bigger, like a hot topic maybe 8 years ago, but like I think it still exists in the UN. Kind of this idea.
Yes, yeah. From what I heard, the UK is like slowly starting to roll it
trying
out.
To implement it.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing with that is the whole idea of using modern technology to track every individual and regulate their access to resources and make sure
they're
taking their fair part.
Overall arching, it sounds like a utopia. Hey, everybody has a universal basic income. Nobody is necessarily going to be poor per se, or they can afford their needs.
Yeah,
but they can also restrict your needs. Yep. Hey, you bought this X amount of meat this month, like you're not allotted anymore. Hey, you did something we didn't like, you're restricted within this radius of travel.
Yeah, you can only spend so many hours outdoors. You'll get your fair share.
Yeah, that's like the extreme side of it, but that is a possibility. You got to think of the ups and the downs that come with it.
Yeah, that's wild. And then meanwhile, like in the Middle East, it's back to where it's been for the last 2,000 years, which is just the only real thing that's understood across borders is power and strength.
Yeah.
And unless you're flexing your strength, no one's going to respect your stake on the land.
Yeah. And what I really just don't understand, and I understand it. I don't think a lot of leaders understand it, or maybe just people in general, is money at the end of the day. Like everybody goes for all this power. I want to be the leader of this. I want to be the leader of that. I need this much money. I need that. When it really doesn't necessarily matter. We're all going to die. So what, you get 15 years of power and you're a really bad person and then you end up in hell for eternity? It's not really worth it in my...
Yeah, well, a lot of people are very secular. They don't see,
They are.
they don't
yeah.
see, they don't think of like, they don't think there's eternal consequence. They don't really believe in an afterlife. So for a lot of people, the only incentive structure is, what do I have? What can I control? And what can I leave for
Yeah.
my next of kin?
Yeah.
Or they just live in a or religious systems that don't have the same like complex of morality.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Their laws are skewed and that's how they grew up. So they don't really know any different. And with Project 2030, like it all starts with our phones and with these devices. You know, we're so locked into them. Like I said, our age bracket, and I mean, probably a wide range, I'd say like 50 years and younger, I would say 90% of our news is consumed through social media, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I don't know if there's Reddit, like other stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is scary because how many of it is actual viable sources?
Yeah, I mean, there's been this like subliminal takeover of our consciousness,
Yes.
right? By big tech and social media. It's like well known. I think everyone understands that like there are algorithms out there controlling our reactions, and that largely you wind up in a bubble or an echo chamber. The more social media you
these
use,
small dopamine hits left and right, they get you addicted. It is a real addiction.
yeah, and we're at the point where like the news cycle is tapping into that addiction,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of the major news outlets, it's all headlines and clips. And
Yeah, the algorithms are so good. They know what they're doing. Like when we had our child, my algorithm flipped. It's all like, oh, this is what moms do, and this is what dads do, and this is the products you should be using, and this and this. And then
yeah,
when I realized it as I was watching it, and I was like going down this hole of, oh, this is what I should be doing. This lady would come on, like, she'd be like, oh, I'm a mom of 2, so I know this and this, and you should listen to me because I've been through it. Like,
yeah.
great, you're a mom of 2. That's awesome. I'm sure you have some knowledge, but it does not make you an expert. So I don't think that you should be spewing what works for you online, because how many people are going to follow that with preconceived notions that is 100% going to work when every child's different, every parent's different, every environment's different.
Yeah. Well, I think it's okay to share, but the problem comes when the people,
Well, they
consuming
claim to be experts. That's
Yeah.
my issue with it.
or when
They say-
consumers don't like do their own diligence or like understand, or like, you just watch a few clips that are repeat the same thing enough times, and then
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
inherit-
They're like,
you
hey,
subconsciously-
I'm this mom of 2,
subconsciously
so
believe it.
I know everything about being a mom of 2.
yeah,
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You have no, like I said, yes, you have very awesome knowledge about the topic,
yeah,
but you don't know everything and you're not an expert, and you should not be making videos online telling these young parents what to do and what not to do.
yeah. It's all about how you present.
But then, we dive into those holes, and then that parent gets consumed by it, and that runs their whole way, that changes the whole way that they parent because of one little video. So in that manner, you see one political video or you see one propaganda video, it'll skew your opinion like crazy.
Yeah,
And then, all right, we're great on social media, we're swiping, we're doing this, and then something else, they want to throw something else at you, so they throw this, and then they throw this, and it's like easy, slow manipulation of the mind
yeah,
to get you to serve whatever they want.
yeah. Or to think the way they want, or the way that
Exactly.
whatever your algorithm.
Yeah. Or just be
Basically,
like a herd.
well, the thing about
follow
the social media is like those algorithms are the ultimate goal is to get you to give them your attention and your money, your
Yes,
dollars.
as much time
So
money as possible on the device.
The goal is to either get you watching so much that they can upsell you or they can show you ads that you then click on and buy.
Yeah.
So most of the content that gets promoted is like one way or another, the end goal is to capitalize on your attention.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's why it's
The more time you spend looking at it, the more money they make.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's crazy when you have like, I think it's, I do believe like in capitalism and in like the free market. So I think it's good when it depends on the content being shown to you. Where it gets weird is when there's the political influence or like,
it's not regulated to just.
Yeah. Like it's not just like a private sector thing.
Yeah.
Or like like when suddenly, I don't know. And there's obviously politics like a huge part of our life. So like organically that becomes a big thing on these platforms. And then that's where you get these echo chambers and you end up with like these, radicalized people in either direction because they just get fed the same
and
thing
then
over and over.
With the development of AI and AI getting like really good. I saw a video of a bombing in Tel Aviv that obviously didn't happen, but there's a very good AI video that made it look real.
Yeah.
So somebody that doesn't do their research and they say, "Oh, wow, Tel Aviv was bombed. We got to do something."
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's wild. Another topic we were chatting a little bit about was the whole like Anthropic. So basically this AI lab, which has become like the most effective language model, I would say, in the world right now, which is Anthropic, and they have a very good AI for writing code and very good AI for they have this model called Opus, which is like in my opinion the best in the world right now. Anyways, there was this conflict between them and the federal government where Pete Hegseth came out and said no one's going to be allowed to do business with the federal government if they use Anthropic. And now within the last week, they've become like the #1 downloaded app on the App Store for AI. So like it's almost had the reverse impact so far.
Yes, but because it was similar to ChatGPT making a statement that the FBI can use whatever they want, and then they lost like 200,000 users or something like that. So
yeah, it's
the people with AI and the government makes a huge difference. People throw a lot of stuff in there that they probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, it's becoming very clearly, or not becoming, it's been very clearly like a land grab, almost like this world of AI.
Yeah.
And these most powerful, most data heavy research labs, right? Like it's getting to the point where it's like obviously a national security thing. And also just like if we want to keep up with China and.
Yeah, it's like a space race.
Yeah. Exactly.
But at what point does it go too far?
Yeah, and it seems to me like there's starting to become these kind of clear boundaries. And a couple of the clear ones are like, can you use AI to make fully autonomous weapons decisions, right? Like, can you build weapon systems that are no human in the loop? I think that was part of, I don't know like all the details, but I know that was part of Anthropic claims that the government wanted to push for a program to do that and they wouldn't support it. I don't know whether that's true, obviously.
Yeah.
But that is a thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was part of it. And the other part of it was, can you use AI for government surveillance? Like, can the federal government for national security, yeah, like the whole Patriot Act thing, like for national security, do they get access to all of the AI records?
Yeah.
Or not? And again, that's also like a very slippery slope.
Yeah. Just remember, whatever you do on your phone or online can always be found, even if it's deleted. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean the government knows. The provider knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
They track every click and everything you look at.
Yeah, and then the government gets a warrant, and then they have no option.
Yeah,
but
just
don't do anything you're not supposed to do. It's easy.
Good luck. I think most people do things they're not supposed to do.
Yeah,
computer. Yeah,
but just know you're being tracked all the time.
Yeah.
And as long as you just live your life and don't do anything stupid or suspicious, you'll be fine.
Yeah. It's true, but there is still, even for people that are fully law abiding,
yes,
there's still that level of surveillance that I think just makes people uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
For the same reason, like the Project 2030, which is, do you want to be big brothered, right? Like, do you want to be telling you how to, because it could start, it's like, the natural human thing or like institution of power is once you get control, all you can really do is try to get deeper control.
Yeah.
Right. And like, there's going to be people that come along that want more control, that want to make a name for themselves, or that want whatever, have an agenda because of some experience.
That's the next best this.
Yeah. And then
tracker.
like, as if the legislation follows and allows that, you're going to, if the government can track everything you're doing, well, then who's to say they can't use that data or leverage it for things you maybe don't agree with? Or like, if you agree with whatever the party in power now, who's to say that the next party doesn't leverage the same laws to push their agenda? It just, it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah. And then there's just no privacy. People love privacy. And if you got no privacy, which I don't really think we have to begin with, if you have like Alexa or like cameras in your house.
We got Ring cameras in our house.
Yeah, you have Alexa that says it's not listening to you all the time, but it has to listen all the time for the word Alexa to go off.
Yeah, well, even the Wi-Fi knows every device that comes and goes.
Yeah.
It knows everyone who's coming to where, like, if you're walking around with a phone in your pocket, every cell tower that pings you and every...
Yeah, you're tracked.
Yeah, someone knows where you are.
Yeah.
If they want to. So it's...
And you're right. They have that sort of control now, but the next person comes along, wants more control.
Yeah.
They want to know this about you and this about you.
Yeah.
Where does it stop? It doesn't. It just keeps going.
Yeah. And it's one thing if they're just tracking it, but if they start to use that to, if you get into this whole universal access.
They could ruin lives with it.
Yeah.
I already know they can throw whatever they want on your computer and make it look like you did something.
Oh, yeah.
They could frame you in a second.
Well,
they could reroute your tracking of your phone to say that you went here and did this and did this.
Yeah, that's well, that's illegal. Hopefully there'll be a court somewhere that...
Well, I'm going to be honest. There's one thing I don't trust. It's the government doing legal things.
That's fair. There's a long history of things for national security.
If you think the government won't do it, you're wrong. They will do it.
But I want to get us a little bit back on track.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's a long tangent there.
Yeah, but more back to the current events in the world. I think something that we both thought was kind of wild was after so there was this initial wave of bombing in Iran last weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the leader was killed. I forget his name, but they
yeah, we know.
Killed the leader of Iran. And then the next 10 to 20 candidates to fill his seat, they were having a summit to deliberate on who to elect. And obviously the summit got bombed and they were all killed.
Yeah.
And we were saying, you wonder if that's just a lack of to me, it's, and in the United States, it would be crazy for the president to get assassinated and then get the next 20 people in line
in the same room. When you know that they have great surveillance on you because
they just took him out with a drone. They just took out your leader with a drone and the next 20 guys in succession.
Yeah. So they already know the next 20 guys in succession. They already know where they are and what they're doing. And then you put them all together and oh, wow, this is the jackpot.
Yeah. You're just setting and I want, that makes me think that just the lack of awareness in Iran of the capabilities of they
didn't know how
of our intelligence
developed our intelligence were,
or they were just, I don't know if it was just bold but yeah, it seems to me just a lack of understanding of surveillance.
Yeah, that, or it didn't come to one of their minds maybe we shouldn't all get together. Let's do this some other way. But then we also talked about how, all right, the next, it's a huge scare tactic that works. The next leader that comes up probably is not going to last very long.
Yeah, I think Trump has basically come out and said, until this system of authority is gone, right? Because there still is an Iran national security force.
Yeah.
Which is trying to, carry out the regime's, basically defend themselves, quote unquote, but also along the same ideology as.
But what's the end goal? Is the end goal to, all right, overthrow the regime, kill all the bad leaders, and then we're going to institute a new government system for them, ran by them, for the people? Or is the goal, we want to run it?
Well, my understanding, I don't think we're ever going to have another boots on the ground war in the Middle East, at least for the next stretch of time. I mean, who knows? It's possible that'll...
Yeah.
It's possible that'll make me sound stupid in a week, but I would guess we're not going to go put 20,000 troops into Iran right now.
No.
I think that the thesis is basically there's enough democratically minded people in Iran who have been suppressed. I mean, supposedly in January alone, there was like 30,000 protesters imprisoned or executed. There was mass executions of protesters in Iran. I think the idea is that if you remove the authority, those people will rise and, I guess, form some sort of democratic government. But that's a long and bloody road. Like, that's not going to happen quickly, even if it does happen. And I think that you see, you know, as often as that happens in the world, more often someone else kind of gains authority and builds a new regime.
You know, is our point to control Iran the way the United States wants, or is the goal to, like, let's just reset them?
I think it's just a hard reset. Honestly, I think the goal is just my sense is that in Israel and like throughout the Middle East, there is the fear of Iran because of the nuclear weapons threat.
Yeah.
And I think the goal is basically remove that concern.
All right.
At any cost. Like, just get
remove that concern, put somebody in power that wouldn't even think about it, and then...
Yeah, I would guess priority one is, like, even if Iran doesn't have a stable society, as long as they're not developing nuclear weapons, that is probably a success for this mission.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, there's obviously a huge, like, human cost to that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think the counter argument would be like, well, they were killing prisoners by the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
So,
like, either way, there's blood that's going to be shed.
Yeah.
We just want it to be in a positive direction. That sounds
or at least in a direction that gives.
Yeah. It doesn't sound good either way you put it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. What I know is gas prices have gone up 70 cents in the past 2 weeks.
Well, it's like we talk about, like, okay, how does that actually, other than the fact that now our algorithms get inundated with
how does it actually affect
bombing
America?
videos? Yeah, how does it actually impact our day-to-day life?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, obviously, number one is oil and gas prices.
Mhm.
That's the biggest thing that you'll see fluctuation with. Other than that, I'm kind of like out of the picture. I don't really know what else it would necessarily.
I'm sure it'll be politicized.
Day to
There will be. I think it's unclear right now how it will be politicized in the U.S. because I didn't follow that closely, but I know there was just a vote around, like, how much authority does Trump actually have to do war or engage with Iran?
Yeah.
And it was struck, like, limiting his powers was struck down in, I think it was the House of Representatives, and I think there was some level of, like, Democrat alignment with the Republican vote, which is interesting. I don't know. I actually didn't look at that closely. That just happened this morning.
All right.
But that's one thing. Like, it's definitely going to be politicized one way or another.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a given no matter what. And it's already too late for that, you know.
Yeah.
We're after the fact. So I don't know what the American effect would be other than, you know, oil prices, at least short-term effects. I can't think of any, but I'm probably not the best resource to give you for effects of war and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of active duty people who are engaged.
Well, there was, did you see that video of I don't know what it was, some press conference or something, and he was in uniform. I think he was retired or a veteran or something, and he stood up and he started talking a lot, and they removed him. It's just interesting to see the kind of stuff that's coming out from this and where people stand on it.
Yeah, I think it definitely raises tensions, and, you know.
Yes, in the United States, I mean, the United States is split to begin with, and then you just throw this at it, and then it probably divides people even more. And maybe not, because I feel like based on their political party, that already says what side they're on. So,
well, that's where it's almost like it feels like there's two pretty strong and divided ideologies in our country right now. And I think that whenever a big event like this happens, I feel like, you know, it gets polarized. Whether it starts as a polarized thing, it definitely evolves into one as it becomes politicized. So I'm sure it'll be a hot topic in the next round of elections. I don't really know which side everyone's going to fall on. I think it's hard to defend the regime that existed in Iran because it was so, undemocratic and ruthless. But the whole question is going to be around like how much war fighting do we allow the executive branch to do?
Yeah.
So I mean, that'll definitely be the question that will get deliberated on a whole bunch. But it is following in this pattern of just like more aggressive, offensive policy.
Yeah.
By
Stuff that we haven't necessarily seen, at least to this extent in the past.
Well, we haven't seen it in 20 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Since 9/11.
And even then, it was kind of after the fact.
Yeah. I mean, the invasion of like Iraq was a big military operation.
Yeah, in the early 90s, Desert Storm or something.
Yeah, Desert Storm was probably even a bigger operation than the invasion of Iraq in whatever 2003, whenever that was. But it's I don't know. It's interesting. I do wonder like how much just the advancements in technology have yielded this world where like we have more confidence to engage and do like pretty much fully remote warfare.
Where it's
like all just drone strikes, and
you would think that'd be like better because there's less cost of lives on the ground. But then when I think about it, it's like the same cost because if you're not precise with a drone, which actually they've shown that they can be very precise, taking out like one specific floor of a corner of a building.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable how precise they are.
Well, I think there's a whole psychological effect on that, which is like you don't just look out for the boots on the ground, but
it's like any moment you could be taken out, and they're silent too. Like you have no idea. So it is scary in that effect. But again, if we're like you and me here in the United States, unless something bigger happens, how much fear should we really have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think fear is ever helpful.
No.
I think it's more about like, to me, it's like, okay, well, I want to do a little more research on like the history of Iran and understand why I would pull over now.
Yeah, what more so led up to this than anything, and go over the facts. But and at the end of the day, I like to remind myself that I don't really have control over any of it.
Yeah.
So, I can have thoughts and opinions about it, but in the masses, I can't really change anything about it. So it's out of my hands for the most part.
Yeah. Well, we have a special guest just walked into the room.
Hi, rescue listeners.
You want to join the podcast for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else we have to talk about, to be honest. That was a good covering.
Even like 5 minutes, but
that was a good cover.
Pull up a chair. Do this one because that camera is pointed there.
What else do we want to throw at him?
I don't know. I don't think Nick's as big of a global politics kind of a guy. Yeah.
I don't sound like I'm on yet.
Welcome.
Thank you. So this is what it's like to be on the big show, big stage.
Welcome to Nicky Mills. Welcoming him to the podcast for his debut. 6'3" out of Germantown, Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Takes the floor.
Merkel, Mueller, and Mittman and company right here. The Triple M.
Yeah, the 3M Corporation.
So what's been discussed today?
A lot of current events, political and otherwise, since January. So Venezuela, Mexico, Iran are the big three that we've been covering.
Been plenty on that front to discuss lately.
Yeah.
It seems like our president's not afraid to stir the pot with some of these countries that have had longtime dictators. And
no, which is
that's
like
what we're
just
saying.
Talking about. Like if there's mass genocides, I don't see the downfall to taking them out. But what's the end goal after that?
Yeah. Well, and that's the challenging thing is so many of these countries, it's, it's all generations and generations have known. So
Yeah.
when you do take away, it's obviously uncomfortable for many of them, and they probably are like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? And
Yeah.
what level of involvement does the U.S. take in that? I mean, it seems like you don't really hear that much about Venezuela anymore. It's all about Iran.
No, it was like a 1 week ordeal.
Yeah. It's like what's going on over there. It's just not in the mainstream news as much as it used to be. But
Well, you wonder how much of it is just like controlling the media cycle, like the timing of it, because they might know we're gonna bomb Iran. I mean, they've known since last summer, basically, when the B-52s went in and took out the nuclear sites. Like that's probably on a list, in the war room, and it's like, all right, when's the right time to do this with everything else unfolding?
Yeah.
And probably the same way with Maduro, probably the same way with coordinating with Mexico and Almencho and all this. Like, they have a list, right? And it's like they know they can
these are so precise and developed. Like they've been working on these for a long time. It doesn't just happen like that. It takes a lot of
and you have to track like 1,000 different people just to do that, right? You have to know where everyone is and when is it safe to do it.
It's crazy just to think the level of intelligence that just to make, I mean, I know they would never do it, but just imagine like a Netflix show or something about going into all the different, operations that go into something like this.
True.
But,
I don't know. Don't be surprised. They did the 9/11 Bin Laden.
Yeah, well, many years later they may. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I think everything becomes outdated, and they go, "Okay, we can share what we've done now." But, I mean, I sometimes wonder too what Russia and China and India and some of these countries that have aligned with Iran, what you don't really hear too much about what their thoughts on all this are, and they maybe just be saying we're just gonna stay away from it from the time being. But I'm sure they're going for North Korea. They're going, when are we going to be next? That's
actually
Well, we talked about that a little bit, and more so of like calling their bluff. Like this was part of a call to see how much backing they would actually get from those countries.
Yeah,
and right now, haven't really heard anything.
Yeah, no, at least I mean I don't follow it. I'm sure there's stuff out there, but
talks between presidents and
it's but you definitely do not hear about it, in the media about what these other countries, think about all this.
Yeah,
and they're not going to be probably openly sharing what they think about it either too often. But well, thanks for having me. I'm gonna go pick up my daughter at school.
All right,
my first appearance, and hopefully. You ever need me to be a guest? I'm always happy to swing by.
Whenever you want to come on.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's a wide range here.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what our topics are. What our is.
A couple of days ago, we had no idea what we were going to talk about and just kind of formulated into this. So we'll see what next week brings.
Yeah.
I think the plan, at least, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is like Kyle and you, like everybody has their certain area of expertise, whether that be fitness coaching for Kyle, AI engineering for Matt. For me, I could go like theology basis.
I think that's a good,
but like everybody has their little area of expertise. So it might be tailored to that. It might be tailored to whatever we just want to talk about. Golf season's coming up.
Yes. Got to hype at the Masters.
One day, I think it's going to be like 71 degrees outside. Might be a little rainy, but very much looking forward to golf season, getting out there. Fairways to the Woodside had a fantastic deal the other day.
Really?
They sent an email out for it. It's a little too far away for me to take them up on their offer, but it was like $170 for Monday through Friday, unlimited golf. Green fees are covered for the year. You'd still have to pay for a cart. I would walk anyways, but $170 for the whole year, Monday through Friday.
That's a crazy deal.
Yeah. And it's not like a club membership where, you have a $200 minimum basis on food and beverages. It's like $170 Monday through Friday. You can golf as much as you want.
Good deal.
I'd be playing 36 holes a day.
As long as the greens actually roll.
Yeah, it's a good course. But that's the only place that I've seen do a deal like that. That's not actually a membership.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty. That's why anyone out there who wants to come to Wisconsin who's a golfer, it's I think it's the best place for public golf.
Yes,
Country.
it is.
6 months out of the year.
I mean, Wisconsin and Michigan, I think, are two of the top public golf states in the United States,
Yeah.
which is amazing. The only problem is we can only golf like 5 or 6 months out of the year. If we're lucky, we get 7.
Yeah.
But it's what you get with good golf.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Lasonia, Century World, Sand Valley. You have Sheboygan Golf, which is
Some of the
Whistling
best
Straits,
in the world.
Black Wolf Run,
Yeah.
Meadow Valley. You have Erin Hill is right close to us. What else is there? They have TPC Wisconsin now. University.
I haven't even heard of that. TPC Wisconsin.
Yep. University Ridge. Just on Grand Geneva.
There's a lot of good private courses too that you can't really get onto.
Yeah, a ton of good private courses. Brown Deer, which is actually where Tiger Woods made his professional debut however many years ago.
Yeah. Greater Milwaukee Open.
Yeah,
RIP.
yeah,
I was playing there, or Nick and I, the other Nick who was just here.
yeah.
We played there last summer. It's cheap and it's crazy. They could never play a professional tournament there these days
No,
because like half the whole entire back nine, there's a river running through it. So like you can either hit the ball 220 or, I mean, they'd be hitting so many like 7 and 6 irons off the tee.
yeah,
It just doesn't really work for a professional. I don't know. It would probably still work, but it would be a little. People wouldn't want to watch it that much.
yeah.
And the course is too short. Like
What's your favorite-
The technology's gotten too good.
What's your favorite local, like affordable course? I'd say like under $100.
Washington County.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them. I live over there.
Yeah.
That's good. It's more of in the summer once the grass grows. It's more of a European style feel. Open.
Yeah, it's the total links golf.
Yeah,
You can just
yeah.
bomb. You can just grip it and rip it.
Yeah,
Find it, hit it again.
that's
my
a
kind of
great
golf.
course.
Yeah, well, we'll get out. We'll get out. Maybe make some videos golfing for fun.
Yeah,
But yeah, in the meantime, Nick and I are going to be making a podcast. Try to do one like every week.
every week. Yeah,
Yeah, get Kyle in here every week. Just grease the wheels on the rest period again. Start talking more, keeping up with the world around us. So
yeah. And tune into what you guys like. Let us know what you don't like, what you do like. If we talk about theological stuff, like we can separate it.
yeah, I mean, we have like 10 listeners right now. So any feedback
to
you
those
get,
10
it's gonna,
listeners,
we're gonna
what do you
walk
want to hear?
Yeah.
We can go through the Bible. We can talk about fitness. We can talk about health. We can talk about AI. We can
I
talk
can curate it to whatever people want.
current
us to talk
events. Yeah. We're-
Write in, and we'll read any questions and comments
Yeah.
live on the air. You can call us. Actually, we'll put you on speakerphone.
yeah. Join the podcast.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good deal.
All right.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
Sounds good.